Welcome to the PreSnap Podcast presented by LineStar. Today going over top 5 rookies to target in best ball drafts late in the draft. Alongside Tyler Wiemann, I am Shannon Sommerville. Right now, do us a huge favor before we get rolling here on the show. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below. It helps us out in the algorithm department, and it also helps you out. Every once in a while on our shows, we have some giveaways, so make sure you are commenting. We want to hear from you guys. Are you guys doing best ball this season? If not, you got to get in it to win it. Lots of prizes on the line, especially on Underdog Fantasy. If you don't have Underdog Fantasy already, go ahead and download it. But when you do, you got to make sure you drop in that promo code LineStar for up to $250 in bonus cash, plus a special pick and 1 free month of LineStar. So if you've been someone who's been anxious to try out the LineStar app, why not download Underdog Fantasy as well? And you can get a little 2-for-1 deal there. Get your bonus cash and 1 free month of LineStar. And you can check out all the tools at your disposal on the LineStar app as well. So best ball season is here. Just 118 days till kickoff. But really, who's counting, Tyler? I mean, we're not excited at all for football. But right now, it is best ball season. So in the months leading up to it, best ball is a really fun opportunity for us to get talking about football again. And lately, we've been really into the best ball drafts. Tyler, how many drafts have you done already? I'm afraid to ask.
I've done 6.
6. All right. Good number.
Yes.
What have you seen over the course? Any interesting trends that have popped out to you?
The rookies are going insanely high, or most of them. We're definitely covering some late ones today that we like.
Yeah.
But rookies are just being drafted very, very high. The last couple of years, that has continued to happen. And I think this year they've finally gone overboard with a lot of the guys, or at least the higher, bigger name prospects. And
I think maybe some of that has to do with the fact that we did see some breakout rookies last season. And so everyone's trying to look for either, the next Puka Nacua and the next CJ Stroud, who's going to pop off in the fantasy department. Well, we're here to tell you, or at least some late round guys that you can kind of just take a gamble on in the late rounds, especially in best ball. That's when you can get a little fun and creative with some of your picks and really make some moves. So we've got some rookies that we've been eyeing that might actually add to your value, especially when you consider it. What are the factors that you're looking at in how a rookie can make an immediate impact in terms of fantasy?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest one is just playing time.
Yeah.
Will they have the opportunity to be on the field consistently? Like, with a rookie pick, you're not expecting them to give you production for every single game of the season, unless it's a guy like Marvin Harrison. But, I mean, he's a first-round pick right now. With most rookies, you're expecting production from the last half of this season. So you want a clear path to playing time. That is the first and foremost thing. And then how they've done before.
So 5 rookies to pick up 150 or later in ADP. We'll start off with New England Patriots new wide receiver Jalen Polk, currently going 155.6, wide receiver 70 off the board in drafts. And an interesting one here. The Patriots drafted him in the 2nd round, pick 37 overall, comes from Washington, where he was competing with Rome Odunze for some targets. And this is an offense that's got a lot of question marks when you look at the Patriots. They've got a new head coach. They've got a new offensive coordinator. They've got a new quarterback. So how will he fit in with there? But there is some opportunity that could present itself. What do you think?
Yeah, opportunity is the whole thing here. You have the potential to get a wide receiver 1 on a team with pick 155. Look, he's only competing with Demario Douglas and Kendrick Bourne, and he should be able to beat those guys out due to the fact that he is such a highly sought after prospect. So I like his spot. He's going to get the chance to earn reps from day one, which is kind of surprising as a rookie and being drafted this late. So definitely very intrigued with Polk.
And when you look at the offensive coordinator, Alex Van Pelt, who comes over from the Browns, and he's the guy who made Joe Flacco relevant for fantasy purposes and some of those wide receivers for the Browns. And so he's got a great pedigree. You're talking about a Patriots offense that can't really get worse. And so I assume they're going to take some shots, especially on offense. Yeah. And with a rookie quarterback, if he is in, sometimes you like to go for the rookie connection because they've been presumably working together all off season and in the rookie camps and stuff. So that could also play to your favor as well.
Yeah. And you talked about his competition in college, but look, this guy is a legit prospect. He's 6'1", 4.5 speed. He had 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns his senior year, and that's with Rome having like 1,600 yards. He did well, and I think he can very, very much carve his own path with the Patriots.
All right, next up, we're going to another wide receiver, this time Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver Jermaine Burton, who kind of fell into the Bengals' lap in the draft. And in fact, when you look up some of the stats here, this is like a potential first round in terms of talent. Burton's 3.12 yards per route run was better than Roman Wilson, Rome Odunze, Brian Thomas Jr., and Jalen Polk during the 2023 season. And he was in the 100th percentile in receiving grade, while also finishing in the 90th percentile in receiving grade against single coverage and 77th percentile in separation percentage. He's got the big playability, the speed, the burst, elite hands. There were some question marks with, off the field character issues and just overall kind of like emotional maturity. Even his former head coach at Alabama, Nick Saban, gave a little criticism on the draft coverage, saying, you know what, it's a little emotional immaturity is there. But if there's any place for him to kind of thrive, I feel like the Cincinnati Bengals have a good culture in place to help kind of deal with those issues. What's your thoughts?
Absolutely. There's that. He's also working with a former Cincinnati Bengal wide receiver as his mentor, being TJ Houshmandzadeh. So I think if anybody knows how the depth of those emotional insecurities or issues, it would be the Bengals, due to the fact TJ is kind of mentoring him and bringing him along. And from what I've heard, he's gone through great strides under that mentorship. So we're looking for that to continue. But then as far as playing time, we talked about that being a number one thing. He has Joe Burrow as his quarterback. It's a pretty good quarterback to have.
Right.
Yes, he has Chase, so he's not going to be the wide receiver one. But T. Higgins has requested a trade. Tyler Boyd is gone. There is, right away a spot for him as the wide receiver 3. Mm-hmm. And if anybody's gets hurt, he's up to wide receiver 2. We know he has the ability and the skills to get it done. So I think it's an interesting spot for him.
Yeah, even the wide receiver 3 alone position for the Bengals with that offense and Joe Burrow, he's going to make strides and come back even stronger this season and be super competitive. So anxious to see what he does, and definitely a guy I would be looking for in my best ball draft. Next up, we're going to a quarterback here, JJ McCarthy, Minnesota Vikings quarterback, currently being drafted. ADP 183.6, quarterback 27 off the board. And this is an interesting one because, of course, the Vikings traded up to get him in the first round, pick number 10. They got rid of Kirk Cousins. And this is an interesting kind of proposition because Kirk Cousins, what do we know about him? He's a great passer, but he couldn't quite get it done in those big games. Well, what does J.J. McCarthy do? He gets it done in all the big games, won the national championship with Michigan. So what do you think he brings from a fantasy perspective? Right now, he's currently not the favorite to start the season. Yes. It's Sam Darnold right now. What do you make of it?
It is Sam Darnold right now, but there's a big but there. They literally have to give it to Sam Darnold right now. They brought in Sam Darnold to, take over that role, then drafted J.J. McCarthy. You're not going to just give it to a rookie quarterback. If you have to, want to make them work for it. But the bottom line is that J.J. McCarthy may have the best weapons of any quarterback in the league. You're talking about Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, T.J. Hawkinson, Aaron Jones. He has so many different ways to get rid of the ball. And it's a guy that had an 80% completion percentage in 2023. So he's accurate. Yeah. And OCs can drop a lot of different plays to make that work.
To your point, third highest adjusted completion percentage in the nation in 2023. Slightly below average depth of target, but also when under pressure, McCarthy had the second highest completion rate in this class. There's been some knocks, I guess, on his ball placement on those deep passes. We saw a little bit in struggles in the combine. However, you just talked about it. You got Justin Jefferson. Just get it in his area code, and he's got it, So I think that's a great play if you're looking for the upside. It's definitely there with those guys. He doesn't have the rushing that maybe some other quarterbacks do in terms of a fantasy value, but you still like the fact that you're going to get those numbers with J.J. Jefferson.
Yes, and the quarterbacks going around his ADP aren't guys that have that rushing upside either. It is, Bryce Young, it's Derek Carr, it's Geno Smith. They're all decent, but they're not going to set the fantasy world on fire. J.G. McCarthy, with all of his weapons, at least has that path. Will he actually do that? We don't know, but he has the weapons to do it, and that gives a big-time upside.
Well, another offense with a lot of weapons is the San Francisco 49ers. So next up on our list is a running back that they took a shot on, Isaac Guerendo from Louisville in the 4th round, pick 129 overall last season. For the Cards, he had 810 rushing yards, 11 touchdowns, and just dominated at the combine. A 4.33 40, a 41.5-inch vertical jump, raised some heads there. Scouts have labeled him as having good change of direction, acceleration, and game-breaking top-end speed. He can also catch out of the backfield as well. And with this offense that seems to know how to utilize their weapons to the best of their ability, how do you evaluate his fantasy prognosis?
I think that going to the 49ers for any type of running back is pretty much the best spot you could land. He is behind some heavy hitters in CMC, but CMC has been hurt multiple seasons. He is coming off a year where he had 339 touches. The year before that, 329 touches. He is only 27, but that is a lot of touches to take year in and year out without getting hurt. So I think there's definitely worries about CMC being able to hold up. Then you have Eli Mitchell. He's missed 5+ games every single year of his career. Guerendo is a super athletic guy. If he gets space, he can absolutely bust a big run. There is only one other player that has over 220 pounds and ran a 4.3, and that is DK Metcalf. That shows you, his athletic ability.
Yeah.
He's a big body, is very fast, and I'm excited to see him in this offense if he gets a chance. We're taking him, with the last pick of your draft or second to last pick of your draft. So it's not really costing much, but if there is an injury, huge upside.
Yeah, I was watching some highlights before we got on the show of him from college, and it was just like watching like a pinball machine just kind of bouncing outside and figuring out ways. Great change of direction. Will be interesting to see with that great offensive line, and then he's got great run blocking there. So it's
just the scheme is so good for a running back there. He's versatile. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can run through tackles. He can do it all. I'm interested to see how he does.
Speaking of versatile running backs, how we go to the New York Giants, who just got rid of the quad father. Saquon Barkley no longer in New York, so they're having a little depth problem at running back. So why not, address that in the draft with Tyrone Tracy, who is 24 years old. I was surprised to look that up. So an older, more veteran, I guess, college player, if you will. He was actually a wide receiver for 4 seasons at Iowa before transferring to Purdue, and then he switched to running back there. Got a really thin backfield and some numbers to throw at you here. His 23.1% explosive run rate was the best in this year's draft class and ranked in the 97th percentile among all prospects, Tyler, since 2018, according to Pro Football Focus. That's some pretty good numbers.
Oh, that absolutely is.
So there's opportunity, given the fact that they're thin there. And even the coach has said, we want to give this kid a shot.
Yeah, I mean, you have Devin Singletary, who will be the RB1. They paid him 3 years, $16 million, something like that. So he's going to get the first opportunity, but before the show, we were looking it up. We're like, why is Devin Singletary making this much money? It makes no sense. He's a decent, serviceable running back, but he's nothing game-breaking. So I think there is a path for him to just win the job outright. Does that happen this year without injury? Maybe not. But there's absolutely a path. Devin Singletary gets banged up a little bit. He starts to work in and could potentially win it.
And with your last pick in the draft, why not take a shot here? I mean, Daboll himself has said he's an athlete who has played receiver, then played running back, and had some good production. We'll throw him in the mix, whether that's in the kickoff return game or whether that's a running back or the receiving part of it. We've got to do a good job of getting him in there and seeing where he's at, and then trying to fit him into the things he can do well. They are trying to work him into the system.
Yeah, and the thing is that like that versatility out of the backfield, you just can't teach. There's not many guys that can catch the ball as efficient as he can out of the backfield. If you look at some of the highlights, he's literally doing streak routes out of the backfield and, catching the ball very efficiently doing that. And there's just not that many running backs that can really make that happen along with his, explosive running. It's an interesting spot for sure.
All right, so those are some guys we're targeting late in drafts. Let us know where you're headed in your drafts. Like, who are some late guys you're working with? What do you think of the guys that we've picked out for you guys in terms of those rookie best ball drafts? And let us know how you've been doing in your best ball drafts lately. Again, if you haven't downloaded Underdog Fantasy and entered into some best ball drafts, go ahead and do so. Use that promo code LineStar, though. Make sure you get that up to $250 bonus cash plus a free special pick plus that one free month of LineStar, all the things. So just download that app and make sure all the things. And make sure if you haven't already, do us a huge favor. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the LineStar YouTube channel. We've got tons of content coming out your way every day on this show, on the PreSnap Podcast. During the football season, we're giving out free betting prop picks. Plus, Tyler's got his DFS advice. You got to listen to the master take down Tyler and his advice. So subscribe to the LineStar YouTube channel. Keep up with us. And that's going to do it for today's show. Good luck in all of your best ball drafting. Hopefully we'll see you guys in some of the best ball drafts. We'll try to fire up a couple live drafts over the course of the next few weeks as well and get in on those. You guys can join us there as well. Good luck in all of your best ball drafting. We'll see you guys later on the LineStar YouTube channel. Bye, guys.
Good luck, guys. Bye.